Unpad. Today I'm lecturing about government innovation strategy and good governance case in Korea and focus on the 21 innovation strategy in Korea. Before we starting the class, I'm really sorry about delayed uploading my lecture video. I recording it, but it can and it didn't saving in my computer. It is distinguishing and I annoying and there was in the some disappointed and therefore it's hard to recording once again, therefore it takes some time to and delayed what in the uploading my lecturing. It's a computer problem, sorry about that. And okay, this is a background of our Korean government innovation strategy. First, the shift toward government which improve the quality of people's life. The government of Korea has focused on efficiency and economic growth, which increase the size of national economy. However, the economic polarization and inequality have remained unsolved and citizens perceive that the quality of their lives has not improved much. With an aim of addressing this challenge, the government of Korea recognized that it needs to shift itself toward a social value-oriented government that pursues the public interest and community development and, more importantly, citizens' better life. Citizens' better life, citizens' happiness. Okay. The second is a participatory democracy where citizens are engaged in policy making. With high demand of citizens for direct participation in policy making and ever-growing capability of civil society groups, the government need to institutionalize citizens' engagement. Therefore, it is time to push the participatory democracy forward by explaining citizen engagement throughout the policy-making process and putting the people's idea into policy action. This is cross-cutting factor that impact innovation. First, overcoming. This is more OECD embracing innovation government global trend according to their and overcoming bureaucratic barriers. Second, harnessing the power of citizens' idea and the peoples behind them. The third is building open, transparent, and trust-based relationship with citizens. It's very important. And the first is enabling a culture that supports innovation. And thinking about that, and also winning trust from citizens through government innovation. The government of Korea has put effort on improving the way of working and its culture. However, the level of citizen trust in government and transparency remain low. Therefore, government of Korea declared that it is seriously foster improvement in innovation that make a real difference in citizens' life as an innovation leader, not bystander. Korean government, and they're doing some the for, and this is analyst result of government innovation public opinion poll. The method the citizens were invited to submit their idea on what is government innovation to you on the government. Innovation public opinion poll. If you interested in the result, just click this. It was in the run by the 2008 and 2,143 participating involved in that poll. And what no, MOIS and This is a result of the government innovation public opinion poll. The result is the analysis of the major keyword of stopping idea on what is government innovation to you. And 20% and is your major keyword participation in the corporation, and 33.7 removing outdated practice, and 44% 0.3 point is a better quality of people's rights and social value. And it includes some promoting and the public interest 10%, better quality of people's rights 6%, protecting and disadvantaged people is 6%. And the participation corporation including the communication and the cooperation with the people and pro-citizen engagement. And also, sorry about that, and the removing the outdated practice include the fair and the transparent government and proactive administration, focus on the on-site need and also government efficiency. This is implication of a fair and transparent government, public interest, proactive administration, focus on on-site need in government. If sorry about the fair and transparent government, public interest, and proactive administration, focus on on-site need. But thinking about the innovation as but they focus on the fair and transparent government, public interest, proactive administration, focus on on-site need, and government efficiency and communication and the cooperation with the people are 5 major keywords under the participation in the corporation. For the most people, good government is a government which deliver on its promise and just government. It keywords suggest most often with government are promise, opinion, and justice. What most people associate with innovation is find new way to solve social problem. Keyword mentioned in innovation include solution, justice, continuous, and implementation. Okay, this is our Korean government innovation commitment. And the realizing a government of the people through government innovation. The government of Korea launched the government innovation master plan. Maybe we're talking about this kind of master plan, which take a whole of government approach to promote a public interest through citizen participation and trust building. Trust building is very important. How to trust building? Our government try to cities participation in the policy making process, and vision is realizing a government of the people. Goal: promote public interest through citizen participation and trust building. Ranking of the top 19 in the OECD Better Life Index, in the top 19 in the OECD Trust in Government Index, and 29 in the Corruption Perception Index. It's a problem. This is in our 3 main strategy of the government innovation: participation corporation, trusted government, and social value oriented government. Maybe we already know about some participation corporation, trustworthy government, but in this in the our Korean government innovation master plan focus on social value oriented government, and using the budgeting, performance evaluation, and personal management and organizational management. Okay. The key commitment recognize the importance of realizing social value, promoting participation in the corporation, and building trustworthy government. The government Korea will reform the financial system to pursue social value, establish personal, organizational, and performance evaluation system that make a difference in citizens' life, work with citizens to make policy that meet their need, pursue an open government, fully disclosing information and sharing resources with the public. And the breakdowns so the government to work better, work through the fair and the transparent public service that citizens want. the lesson carry out citizen-centered innovation in the 4 areas of data, creativity, regulatory reform, and zero waste of resource. I'm not sure it's here possible. And okay, first is what Korean government innovation commitment in pursuing open government in a partnership with the civil society. Government of Korean pursue open government in partnership with the civil society to make government more transparent and accountable at the national and the international level. The Ministry of Interior and Safety joined OGP, Open Government Partnership, in 2011, an international initiative that aimed to secure concrete commitment from government to promote transparency, empower citizens, fight corruption, and harness new technology to strengthen governance. In a collaboration with civil society, the government of Korea co-created a multi-stakeholder forum, OGP Forum Korea, to develop, implement, and evaluate a national action plan with concrete open government commitment. Okay, this is what 21 project for government innovation. In what Star Mark is a project is a core government innovation project. We have 10 what in the some core government innovation strategy in here. Okay, first, focus on social value. Commitment 1. Government of Korea will reform the financial system to pursue social value. Expanding financial investment in programs designed to realize social value such as human rights and safety. Innovating the financial management system throughout the process from pre-feasibility study and budget allocation to assessment. Increasing budget for safety, environment, education, health, and welfare employment. It also what in the second is what including the social impact assessment element in the government-funded project screening and assessment. Okay, commitment to the government of Korea will establish a personal, organizational, and performance evaluation system that make different citizens thrive. The third is introducing the 10, 20, 40 mandatory cut for female civil servants. It increasing the share of female employee to 10% among senior civil servants, 20% among executive at public institutions, and 40 among government commitment member. The senior civil servant in 2000 is 60.1 point, but 2012 22, it increased up to 10%. Female executive at the public institution, it also in 10.9% in 2017, but it increased up to the 20% in 2022. Female committee member is also changed from 38% to 40% in the 2022. Also, and that other is that it reducing the response time of policy and the fire truck to secure safety golden time. Social value also includes some safety value. Therefore, Korean government try to reduce the response time of policy and the fire truck to secure safety golden time. It also other is what overhauling performance evaluation in the public sector to make it focus on social value. I let you know the what in the in this time in the most of what in the some government what policy evaluation index measurement in it social value is including there, and also what maybe over 20-30% of the what some our in measurement of the what government what in the performance is social value. evaluation, and reflecting social value element in the promotion and the performation evaluation. But we thinking about what is social value definition. Maybe until now, people confuse of social value, and and someone talking about social value is and blah blah blah, and other person is talking about others. Therefore, and in here, social value is a value which contribute to the public interest and growth of each community in all spheres, including society, economy, environment, and culture. The framework social work is social value is a constitutional value that promotes social right, and it is comprehensive value which encompasses economic, environmental, and cultural value. Social value refer to one of the constitutional value which promote a healthy society that and benefit community and the society as a whole by ensuring human right, labor right, safety, consideration for the disadvantaged, and the realization of the democratic decision making and participation, among others. Okay, this is a key idea of social value. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 13 here. And the first is protecting human right as the basic right to maintain human dignity. Key idea is guaranteeing constitutional basic rights such as the right to the personal happiness, the right to the equality, the right to know, freedom of occupation, and residential stability. The second is keeping work and living environment safe from disaster and accident. Key idea is a proactive action by the public sector to fulfill citizen safety demand which cannot be met by the private sector alone. The third is providing health and welfare service for healthy lives. Citizens' right to demand welfare and health service from the state so that they lead healthy lives as a basic condition for decent life, and the state obligation to provide such service. The first is guaranteeing labor right and enhancing working condition. Key idea is guaranteeing the right to work for living, three basic labor rights, the maintenance of the stable working condition, minimum wage growth, job security. The first is not first. Another is opportunity for the disadvantaged and the social integration. Key idea is implementing social security policy to respect dignity and value of the woman, older people, youth, and physically disabled and other with difficulty living on their own. Key idea of social value is a mutual growth and cooperation between large business and small and medium enterprises. It introduces necessary regulation and adjustment to prevent the abuse of market economic power and promote an economic democracy through the cooperation among business leaders. In this government is also creating quality of job for decent lives is very important or in the some key social value. Job creation in the public and the private sectors, job sharing throughout reduced work hour, employee representation of a board, reducing the number of non-regular job, efficient to create more good job. But it's too hard. Yeah. Anyway, and our government, and make 52 hours, and some working hour per week. But anyway, and we try to, want to make creating quality job for decent tribes. The goal is good, but the how to creating quality job for decent tribes is so people have different in the some idea, how to creating qualitative job, and by government or by industry, by business, anyway, and it's too hard. And the another is revitalizing local community and the realization of the autonomy of local government and decentralization for each local community. At in this time, our government, tried to transfer much of the right and the money to the local government. And the another social value was boosting local economies by ensuring that the benefit of economic activity are shared by all regions, not focused regions, such as Seoul and the Gyeonggi Metro, and promoting the growth of the local economies for balanced regional development and addressing the side effect of overpopulation of metropolitan area, especially in the Seoul and the Gyeonggi area. But it's too hard, and there are some difference between some autonomy of local government and balanced in the development in country. Anyway, okay, thinking about the Seoul is also local. Gyeonggi province is also local government. Therefore, and we give lots of our money and the right to some local government. Wealth, and some local government is a good, but and some poor local government has and the low rate of some financial independence, and in that local government is too hard to in the gathering some tax or other things money, and there were some problems. Anyway, it in that case is we know and there was some catch there balanced development in our country. The another is a voluntary CSR, including ethical production of distribution. It is effort expected from business as a part of society on CSR, human rights and the labor right, environmental protection, consumer protection, contribution local community, and good governance. Wonderful. Another union social value is maintaining environmental sustainability. State obligation to guarantee citizens to right to live in pleasant environment and pure, and some air and clear water like that. And other social value focus on the realizing democratic decision making and participation as a civil life. Realizing government of the people through democratic decision making and citizen engagement by improving government administration, securing participation mechanism, and promoting participation. Sometimes, it conflict between the representative democracy, indirect democracy, and direct democracy, and citizens' participation is a direct democracy. Therefore, our union system is an indirect democracy, representative democracy. But and our people don't trust the National Assemblyman and some politician. Therefore, with now times also the direct democracy or and some participation in the public policy making process is more important in this time. Anyway, there are still some conflict. The last thing is ensuring the other benefit for community and serving the public interest better. It restoring the society damaged by economic polarization and supporting and promoting the growth of the third sector, including civil society groups. This is social value. And okay, I just showed us some performance evaluation of public institution in Korea. Korea is a large public institution for implementing government work, and every year they and some run by performance evaluation, and based on that result they and some received some incentive payment. Here, and what's the difference between what's the change from the other, and this 2017, and in management activity. In here, thinking about business strategy and leadership is 6 point, implementation of social value 24 point, business process efficiency 5 point, management of organization, human resource finance 7 point, management of remuneration and employment welfare benefit 8 point, innovation public relationship 5 point. In this year, some change was anyway, and still, and the implementation of social value is 24 point among the management activity main indicator. Before that, and the business strategy and leadership and the process efficiency and the organization human resource finance is over it has around 30 point, but in this time it changed. And what including the consists of implementing social value is creating job is 7 point, equal opportunity and social integration 4 point, safe and environment 5 point, and winning partnership and local economic development 5 point, ethical administration 3 point. Creating job is how to in the some create and some job in that public institution, and how to in the change to from just contract and some workers to the in the permanent worker, just like that. Equal opportunity and social integration is how to in the some recruit disadvantaged people and also and some women's and some employment, just like this. And also safe and environment focus on how, and the safe is how and the many times some accident occur in your institution. And environment what it measured by the green growth index, and green growth index. And also winning partnership and local economic development is what is measured by the how to in the buy in some product from social enterprise and their small business, and their in the some regions, their regions in the some business from their region, and just like that. But sometimes it's hard to achieve this. And ethical administration is measured by their in the some not corruption rate, just like this. Therefore, just like but what is social, and what in the value, and each country, and in key idea of social value, just like this in this Korea, and but you checking that the social value in other country. Similar, yeah, support the local economy, blah blah. In our government also require sometimes conflict with in the some efficiency. Yeah, it including the all our and some public institution performance evaluation measurement. It's too fast. Okay, and also this is a involve your stakeholders. Stakeholders are anyone who affect by your activity. Principle 2, understand what changed. Also, this is a show the what in the real world in a social value work in.
Social value, as a concept, is widely understood. In simple terms, it's about how local government can create value for society, provide the services that we all need, and support local businesses without adding costs.
It's a big ask. In fact, with the overall council funding gap set to exceed £5 billion by 2020, the challenge is actually to achieve these goals, not just without additional spending, but with less.
The answer lies in the contribution that providers of goods, works, and services can make. Adding social value has to be made a central part of procurement. But how do we build it into contracts? And how do we measure the outcomes? The Public Services Social Value Act of 2012 calls for all public sector commissioning to have regard to economic,
Korea 20
social, and environmental well-being in connection with public services contracts.
This social value can take many forms. It can be about opportunities for local people to develop new skills and find jobs. It can mean helping local businesses develop the skills they need to compete and work as a part of the public sector and big business supply chains. It can be about building stronger and deeper relationships with the voluntary sector and social enterprises. It can mean ensuring that the places where people live and work are greener and cleaner. And it can be about new ideas, finding innovative solutions to old problems. Since the Act came into force in 2013, some councils and framework providers have embraced it, and some believe it has the potential to transform the public sector. But much more can be done. The perceived barriers include lack of resources, concerns about additional project costs, how to communicate social value criteria to suppliers, and how to measure outcomes.
How do you assess where you currently stand on social value? How do you define your goals? And how do you get from here to there? In February 2016, the National Social Value Task Force was formed, a collaborative forum to bridge the gap between the public and private sectors and share best practice. In November 2017, the task force, in partnership with the Social Value Portal and the Local Government Association, created the National TOMS framework to provide a national minimum reporting standard for measuring social value. Agnieszka Mitzia is one of its principal architects.
The TOMS framework gives procuring authorities a transparent and defensible way to evaluate tenders and also acts as a simple contract management and measurement tool.
And it's sector agnostic.
Absolutely, it can be applied to any mix of goods, works and services. Contractors of any kind will find measures they will be able to make commitments against.
Those measures are all defined with a comprehensive set of guidance notes, and the toolkit also comes with a spreadsheet, a calculator.
Yes, the calculator is a central part of the toolkit, combining procurement and measurement functions. If we look at the procurement calculator, here you can see the 5 themes. Within each of these are a number of outcomes, which are then broken down into 35 clearly defined measures. So let's look at jobs, promoting local skills and employment. There are 4 outcomes within this theme, one being more opportunities for disadvantaged people. There are then 5 measures. This one, NT5, is taking on rehabilitating young offenders between 18 and 24. Each unit, in this case the equivalent of 1 person in full-time employment, is valued at £14,618.77.
That's a very precise number.
Yes, it's the sum of 3 values, the value for the individual, the government and the community, and these are national averages which are based on a range of public sector studies and data. For some measures, this proxy value can be customized to reflect local conditions, and they can also be weighted to reflect local priorities. Bidders simply fill in targets for their chosen measures, and the calculator arrives at a total value, automatically flagging up any risk of double counting. It's robust, it's transparent, and it's really simple to use. Whether you're a procurer or a supplier, it's a really powerful tool.
The design of the TOMS framework was an 18-month collaborative process involving more than 40 organizations from the public, private, and third sector. One of those organizations was Orbis, a shared services partnership between Surrey, East Sussex, and Brighton and Hove councils. They piloted the use of themes, outcomes, and measures in tenders in 2016.
Themes, outcomes and measures is the foundation of our approach to social value. It provided us with a very simple but powerful tool with which to engage our stakeholders, both internal and external, and it really helped us from a procurement perspective, removing the subjectivity from social value, and that's really, really important. And I think more importantly for us as a procurement service, what it does, it gives us the opportunity to ensure that the social value we're actually seeking from our suppliers aligns to what the council and commissioning objectives actually are. And that way we're able to make a real impact in the lives of our residents.
In Birmingham, the City Council introduced its Charter for Social Responsibility in 2012. Moving forward, it now plans to align this drive for social value with a national TOMS framework.
Social value is hugely important because Birmingham City Council spends around about £1 billion on contracts and suppliers. So that's public money, and it's absolutely right that we should be doing everything we can to drive social value out of that public spend. If you take the charter, we've got 451 signatories, and to date that's generated 111 apprenticeships that just wouldn't have existed otherwise. We look to place a higher social value on companies that we contract with that are prepared to promote in areas of deprivation and disadvantage. And what that actually means is areas that wouldn't usually get those opportunities have got them through the fact that we drive out social value in our contracting.
As well as helping procurers align social value with the specific needs of the local community, the TOMS framework captures many aspects of social value that traditional measures, such as key performance indicators, cannot.
So the key performance indicators that we have in our frameworks measure local labour, use of SMEs, waste management, the big items, the big well-known social value items. But there are many other things that feed into social value which can't be captured on every contract in that way. And the TOMS do capture that. So it's things like working with voluntary organisations, engaging social enterprises, things that make a big difference to the client.
It's not a big
but that aren't
difference
normally captured
from
in performance
Korea.
indicators. Introducing TOMS to our frameworks wasn't a difficult thing to do. Once they'd seen the TOMS, they realised that they would be capturing a lot of the good work that they already do, and will be able to provide to clients a report which will show them the value of that additional work on their projects.
The Northeast Procurement Organization recently invited tenders for their Regional Electricity Framework Agreement. They've used the TOMS framework to maximize the social value embedded in the contract.
The NEPO Electricity Framework Agreement is one of the largest contracts that NEPO procure, and it supplies electricity to all the local authorities in the North East. NEPO awarded the Electricity Framework Agreement to EDF Energy, and in the procurement process we use the TOMS framework. EDF have responded with a really competitive bid and included a number of social value measures that's going to make a real tangible difference to the North East. For us, the TOMS framework has really improved the way in which we undertake procurement and achieve social value through those procurements. It provides a great deal of structure and allows suppliers to understand the sorts of measures that we want to deliver for the North East region. It also allows us to compare apples with apples in the procurement process, and importantly provides us with measurable outcomes that we can contract manage throughout the term of the framework.
The TOMS toolkit helps both local authorities and businesses to measure social value by putting a financial value to sustainable outcomes and impacts. By enabling commissioners to see the economic breakdown of each measure by supplier, they can see which businesses are providing the most value to their local authority and community.
This enables commissioners to make responsible, sustainable, and economically smart decisions to help their public pound go further.
Those local authorities that are using TOMS and fully exploiting the potential of the Social Value Act are reporting very significant benefits, anywhere between 20 and 50% of added value.
Replicating this across the whole of the public sector would bring additional value of over £48 billion.
Extend it further across planning and development, and we would gain another 15 to 25 billion pounds.
In challenging times, these are compelling numbers. The TOMS framework has now been downloaded by over 1,700 organizations across the UK. It's a major breakthrough in establishing a simple, intelligible methodology and a minimum reporting standard for social value.
With rolling feedback from users, case studies, and regular reviews and updates, it's not just a powerful policymaking and management tool, but a real agent for change.
Okay, it's too similar in our in this performance evaluation of public institution in Korea, and we already talked about recently. Social value has become a rising topic in the Korea. The civil society as well as the legislature and government are competitively taking measures for the realization of social value. The Framework Act on the Social Value Realization of the Public Institution was proposed in 2014 and was incorporated into the Public Enterprise Performance Index as a criteria for the effort and performance for the realization of social value in 2018. I already show up in here, and social value are not newly introduced concept in the academic domain and can be interpreted as a previous role of the government as the value describing public needs of public value. On the other hand, Social Value Act suggests detailed definition and concept of social value realization in order to facilitate achievement of public needs. The Social Value Act lists 11 items similar to this that government should carry out, including protection of human rights, maintenance of safe environment from disaster and accident, provision of the health and welfare, assurance of labor rights, provision of opportunity for socially disadvantaged and social integration, coexistence of large and smaller company, and creation of high quality job opportunity. The post democratization administration has put endless effort to realize such value and considerably utilize the PPI system in order to motivate public institutions to participate in achieving public and social value. However, some critics argue that public institutions inclined to focus on the maximizing financial efficiency rather than the strengthening public needs due to the bias the public enterprise or performance index system toward the financial efficiency. Why has the PPI system been stigmatized in such ways? In order to find out the answer, we may be talking about, discussing about, and some, rather it's possible we're talking about some role and achievement of the public enterprise system, public institution system in Korea. There, in this time, still, some conflict in the. I already showed, 24% in the implementation of social value, and only, and the leadership and the strategy and efficiency is compared to the social value is too lower than social value, and therefore someone criticizes these kind of things. Anyway, maybe we talking about which is better and thinking about that. Also, and about that. Okay, other is the participation cooperation. Commitments is the government of Korea will work with citizens to make policy that meet their need. The 7 is operating Gwanghwamun First Street as a permanent public forum using the hackathon, and transforming Gwanghwamun First Street from a citizen participation platform into a deliberate public sphere where the government and citizens gather online and offline to make a real change, making it representative communication channel where citizens can participate throughout any means they choose from various options offered by the organization. Okay, Gwanghwamun First Street serves as a people's transition office that collects citizen suggestions for new government through a variety of the platform, including website, temporary office, local branches through every municipal, telephone, text message, and email. For 49 days after its launch in May 2007, it collected too many suggestions, of which 99 were reflected in the national agenda. And just a moment. Oh, sorry about that. This is Gwanghwamun First Street, but it only was in the running by the Korean, and therefore foreign students don't understand what in here. But there are some lots of and something in here, and also what I say in here, it including the not only what in the mobile and the what in of online, it also what including some offline service in here. From late autumn 2006, more than 1 million people gathered in the Gwanghwamun Square. Maybe we know about that. Therefore, the name of Gangwon First Street, from there, and it was in the want to be what in the some how to what in the some hear from people's voice and people's suggestion to the what in the government. And most important task taken on first is accepting people's suggestion for the new government. President Moon started his term in office day after winning the early surprise election that followed the former president impeachment. And the PTO collects suggestion from the people's. PTO is a People's Transition Office and collects suggestion from the new government through the various channel of the Gangwon First Street platform, the website, temporary office located in the near to Gangwon Square, just like this here. And yeah, here, okay. And the open forum was a policy debate program that brought out the the government and public sector together in one place at the temporary Gangwon First Street office. Open forum was unique in terms of both content and the format. Many of certain debate. Sorry about that. Had deal with the topic that had avoided by the previous government. The People's Mic was 3 minute. A free speech program had every Saturday 5 p.m. At this event, more than one person, people gather and spoke public about what they want the government in front of President pressing. The President Bookshelf was the book donation program that installed the bookshelf at the corner of the Gangwon First Street temporary office. Throughout this program, anyone could underline passage in the book that they want the President to read and consider when running the government. Total 579 books were donated by citizens and celebrity. The revolutionary experiment of Gangwon First Street has allowed the idea of ordinary people to be reflected in national agenda, which will executed by the administrative body over 5-year period. Total 99 suggestions from citizens were included in detail of the 100 national agenda announced on July 13, 2017. In addition, many citizens enjoy the rewarding experience of participating in government through various programs. This program was set a new value over standard for future communication between the people and the government and citizen participation in policy making. But sometimes, and what in the other person don't think about that. Anyway, what makes your project innovative? Gangwon First Street has two unique characteristics. First, previous transition team had to focus setting the national agenda by the mobilizing private sector expert and senior official. Gangwon First Street so to do so by collecting ideas from the ordinary citizen, not just what in the specialist or what expert and the or senior officer. A president installed. Okay, and also second, the governance of the Gangwon First Street was not like a typical joint government private sector organization, which usually feature an executive board composed of senior official and the major figure of the private sector. On the contrary, Gangwon First Street had a small planning team composed of young mid-level managers from government and several young and talented social innovator and social venture leaders. This planning team was virtually independent of the parent organization in the transition office and the MOIS. This model of the governance was quite extraordinary, considering the heavy hierarchical structure in the Korean government. The planning team's work style and the flow was significantly different from those of other bureaucratic organizations as well. Unrestricted by the scheduled meeting, the team members constantly discuss various issues and ideas through the small media, social media, and the mobile messenger. As a result, the team was able to respond to constantly changing circumstances such as unexpected weather change and staff fatigue. It also possible to make a frequently improvement to each program, much in the same way that smartphone applications are continuously upgraded. Okay, what is current stage of your innovation? Currently, the project launched by the lesson run from Gwanghamun First Street are being evaluated by Disseminate Gwangham First Street, which focus on the providing public sphere through which anyone could freely suggest ideas and discuss them with government, was launched as an alternative to quasi-authoritarian government. The planning team knew that if they adhered to the conventional way of setting up the organization, they would be unable to achieve their goal in only 2 weeks. So they adopt methodological based on the social innovation instead of building, renovating government office. They assemble shipping container, building temporary office near the government square. Just you can see this, and moreover, in the time of consuming meeting, they work over the phone and through the mobile messenger. Thanks to this method, First Street was opened on May 25 after 10 days of preparation of 15 days of the after inauguration. First Street was covered by hundreds of news media, including foreign ones, and highly praised in the first success of this government. It also collaboration partnership with First Street, especially new partnership between civil society and government, which was hostile toward each other under the government former authorization government. On the contrary, First Street served as a perfect example of how an open-minded government and civil society can work together. The user stakeholder beneficiary user First Street success was made possible by 3 major actors: determined government for civic engagement, a talented civil society organization, and citizens who were hungry to the participation. The government first reached into the civil groups, and they in turn lent their skill and talent to cause voluntarily. Last but not least, citizens show their passion for the participation by coming up with and submit too many suggestions in only 49 days. Throughout this process, Gwangham First Street served as a place for the citizen, the member of the public and private sector to come together and cooperate, implementing an innovative, unprecedented level of civic engagement in the policy. The result and the outcome impact the most notable achievement Gwangham First Street is 1,718 policies that directly reflect the suggestions submitted by the citizens are scheduled to be implemented over the next 5 years. But there are lots of challenges failure. Designing and establishing government organization in only 10 days is a major challenge. However, doing some for organization that is to be symbolic channel of the communication between new president and the 50 million Korean is challenged to comparatively different level. Initially thought impossible, but this task was completely based on combination of non-bureaucratic management and social innovation method. Instead of building or renovating an office, shipping container was used, and even most important decisions were delegated to the teams. Rather than taking 2 months to launch well-developed website, a basic website was set up in only 2 weeks, and upgrades were made by basis. And also in this time, the problem is you can in my opinion, just in my opinion, not many people use praise of this is a very useful platform of our some communication between the people and the government, and direct, and some channel to the what in the people's idea to the policy. But you can see that this website, and there are lots of unnecessary, and some suggestion. Also, lots of what in the some their suggestion is including some criticize of some people, and also what in the some harsh of the some people, and please, and the some what some make a penalty to some person, just like this. No, not just what in the some. It more focus on some what in the some suggestion of some policy proposal, policy innovation, rather than some criticize of some person. But in this time, still there are lots of and some what in the people's suggestion is just criticize some person. It's a problem. Anyway, therefore, the condition of success is what in the maybe and if some good policy, good and some policy suggestion in the policy proposal surely admitted by the what in the some government and the bureaucrat and the some president. I'm not sure. Anyway, and also, and what we believe in the power of the collective intelligence and the goodwill of the people. Other key factor of success of this kind of participant program is elimination of the bureaucratic obstacle and the prevent people from participating. Effort we have made it through the end of include the creation of simple, accessible website, installation of an open, well-located reception desk open to the public, rapid response to the proposal facilitated by the removal of unnecessary decision-making hierarchy, and continuous improvement of the program by accepting and addressing complaint promptly. I hope so. Replication is what First Street has two defined characteristics. Its goal was to promote citizen participation through social innovation method, and we believe both our goal and the method can be replicated in many other countries. Maybe in here, and our global MP students should what in the some lesson from the this First Street, please what in the install in your country. Lesson learned from here, but we learned so many lessons from First Street that it's impossible to summarize. But lesson learned from here is the first. Maybe and the government should open their communication channel to the what in the ordinary person, and also it how to what easily to what in the some propose what some idea from people, and also how to fastly respond about to the what in the that people's idea and the voice. It increase what in the some government trust to the government. It's very important to government's work. Other is the government of Korea will work with citizens to make policy that meet their need, and enabling great citizen engagement in the key area of the policy making include budget and the registration. And it's fully adopted in participatory budgeting. If you want want to know the participatory budgeting, and just type in the what in the YouTube site website, or and some Google, you can find lots of and some introduction of the participatory budgeting. And in Korea also
국민이 직접 사업을 기획하고 예산 편성 과정에
just a moment. I and for the I try to find, and some English video clip, but I can't find. Sorry about that.
참여하는 국민 참여 예산 제도가
There are some
시작됩니다.
subtitles. Please focus on this subtitle.
국민 참여 예산제란 국민이 예산 사업의 제안, 논의, 우선순위 결정 과정에 참여하는 제도입니다. 2018년도 시범 도입돼 총 6개 사업에 422억 원 지원이 결정되는데요. 일상에 필요하다 느끼는 사업이 있다면 지금 바로 사업계획서를 접수하세요. 여러분의 아이디어가 현실이 됩니다. 총 사업비가 500억 원 미만의 신규 사업 아이디어라면 환경, 보건복지, 산업, 중소기업, 에너지 등 국가 재정 운용 계획상 모든 분야에 걸쳐 사업을 제안하실 수 있습니다. 다만 예비 타당성 조사 대상이 아닌 사업 제안 시 5년간 5억 원 이상의 사업비가 필요한 사업, 전국에 휴가가 귀속되는 사업 중 특정 지역에 한정된 휴가가 발생하는 사업, 신규 사업 중 정부에서 이미 추진 중이거나 기존 사업의 단가를 높이는 사업의 경우 제한이 불가능하다는 점 유의하시기 바랍니다. 신규 사업인지의 여부는 예산 사업 정보 제공 기능을 활용하시면 됩니다.
How to
사업 계획서를 작성하고자 하실 때는
make a
먼저
proposal.
작성자가 개인인지 또는 단체인지를 선택하신 후 제안자 정보를 작성하고 사업의 핵심이 드러날 수 있도록 사업명을 작성하고 제안 취지와 사업 내용은 무엇인지, 예산 사업 비용은 어느 정도인지 등을 작성하시면 됩니다. 작성이 모두 완료되셨다면 하단의 제출 버튼을 클릭하시면 됩니다. 제출한 사업은 사업 제안 현황을 통해 확인하실 수 있습니다. 지금 가장 필요한 사업을 가장 투명하게 시행하는 방법, 국민 참여 예산제도. 국민 여러분이 제안하신 사업은 홈페이지를 통해 계속해서 진행 정보를 공개할 예정입니다.
Okay, also if someone sorry about that.
Urgent social issues so that it can allocate next year's budget accordingly. Korean citizens can submit their proposals online at www.mybudget.go.kr. The deadline is April 15th. Issues the program hopes to deal with include fine dust pollution and youth suicide. The ideas will be reviewed by the government and experts. Last year, there were more than 1,200 submissions. Chosen suggestions were reflected in 38 projects worth around $81.9 million.
Okay. Another is promoting citizen participatory registry evaluation assessment and improving the public hearing and the petition system. The ninth, building an open policy communication channel to pay heed to citizen need. You can in the visit to the presidential office, and you can find that kind of in the website. The commitment for the government of Korea will pursue an open government, fully disclosing the information and the sharing resource with the public. They are under the three and some strategy project. First is in the making the more public resource, including parking lots available, offering more parking lots, meeting rooms, and other amenities to citizens through the integrated portal equipment with online booking and the payment system. Redeveloping old government office building into the versatile space which can be used as public office building for profit facilitated and public rental housing, disclosing a large amount of key national data such as safety, environment, self-driving automobile, and the smart city. The second is releasing the paper on how taxpayer money is spent in the plain language. Plain language is easily to understand. And also disclosing information on area of directly linked in the citizen daily lives, such as food and the safety. Commitment 5 is what in the fifth government of Korea will break down salaries for the government to work better. First is the reorganization, the personal organization and the performance evaluation system to promote whole of government collaboration. It expand personal exchange between senior servant and the professional civil servant, introducing the interinstitutional personal exchange program and the coordination and assessment system for collaborative project between organizations. It implementing cloud Onnara, allowing organization to jointly draft or approve document. The 14th is building one-stop complaint center with no silos between government officials. The 15th is strengthening collaboration between government office and between bureau within each office for greater performance and trust government. The next is we try to trustworthy government. Commitment 6 is the government of Korea will work through the fair and transparent public service that citizens want, implementing one strike you out policy for unfair hiring practice, graft and improper solicitation, taking strict action, including the investigation by law enforcement officer for anyone found involved in unfair hiring practice and the job withdrawal for anyone hired through the unfair practice. Immediately dismissing any civil servant involved in the graft, the criminal punishment for any duty performed as a result of the improper solicitation. Penalizing civil servant found abusing his or her power to ask business for fund. The 17th is making work environment free from sexual harassment, violence, and with no fear of reprisal. This project considered dismiss for any civil servant sentenced to at least prescribed amount of the monetary penalty for any type of sexual violence and limitation on appointment to assistant minister and director general level first for any civil servant who had faced disciplinary action for sexual harassment. It operates an integrated discriminatory employment and promotion report center, allowing citizens to report discriminatory personal management case, including those related to sexual violence. And no okay, it's very and in this time it's very important issue. Commitment 7 is the government of Korea will carry out citizen-centered innovation in focus four areas of data, creativity, regulatory reform, and zero waste of resource. Zero waste of resource. Anyway, first project is innovating digital administrative service based on data analysis. This is also what in the star mark is core what in the project. Analyzing public data and big data on safety, welfare, and other areas closely linked to citizens' daily lives to provide better service. Producing a database citizen participatory map to support collaboration between the public and the government in solving social problems. Utilizing AI, IoT, and big data provide service closely connect to citizens' daily lives. 17 is promoting creative public administration, moving away from outdated practice and precedent using the hackathon, and it operating by a pilot venture type organization to put innovative idea into the policy action, using some policy rep just like this, and imposing a reduced penalty for anyone making mistake while working hard on new idea if he or she meet certain requirement. Another project is eliminating regulation which cause inconvenience and burden for the citizen and improving administrative and compliance system. Maybe we have some next week or the next week. I also was in some lecture about some regulatory reform in Korea and preventing any waste of administrative financial resource. Okay, this is what in the what in the project for government innovation to increase trustworthy government. And this is now times Korea government some innovation project focus on and some government innovation, not whole and some our Korean some innovation. And maybe you considering about the kind of thing, maybe in your final and some term paper, maybe focus on this kind of design of what in some government innovation, governance innovation, and some strategy. Therefore, you study, and some where about this kind of strategy. Anyway, okay, thank you for listening to this class. Maybe next time I promise I upload my lectures fastly. Sorry about that for this week. Okay, bye.